The 2026 Australian Grand Prix is in the history books, and it completely exposed the grid. We had a genuine fight for the lead, shocking reliability dramas, and a totally new pecking order. Forget the practice sessions. Today we are breaking down every single winner and loser from the opening race of 2026. Let's get straight into it. A catastrophic title defense start for Papaya. McLaren is officially our first loser. What an absolute come down. One car was completely wrecked before it even got to the starting grid, with the horribly painful context of what it meant for the home crowd. The other car was just slow and completely ate its tires. Critics on Twitter are already swarming, questioning if they can handle the pressure. A successful title defense across a massive rule change was always a big ask, but out of F1's big four, they are the only ones who didn't look like a proper threat at any point. They look completely lost right now compared to Mercedes. The rumors were true. Mercedes has built an absolute monster. The Paddock whispers from last year were that Mercedes had the 2026 edge, and the evidence from testing showed they could run and fine-tune while others were scrabbling. After a dominant 1-2 in qualifying, we now have the absolute proof. Journalists are already calling this the second coming of the Silver Arrow's dominance. After years of false dawns from 2022 to 2025, we now know that Mercedes is back and this championship is theirs to lose. Total Wolff must be laughing at the rest of the grid because they look utterly untouchable. Ferrari built a fast car, but the strategists are back to their old tricks. Ferrari's refusal to pit either car during that first virtual safety car period was clearly the wrong decision. It is the same old story. New regulations, but the exact same Ferrari pit wall panic. The Tifosi are completely losing their minds online because by rolling the dice like that, they effectively rolled out the carpet for Mercedes to go make hay in clean air. They threw away a genuine chance to put real pressure on George and Kimi. Forget the strategy, the SF26 is a rocket off the line. Despite the strategy mess, the Ferrari SF26 as a package had a very good day. Their race starts are clearly a real weapon, which will be even more beneficial at tracks that skew towards a more conventional racing style. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc actually have a machine they can fight with. At the very least, this is a clear second best car behind Mercedes. If the team stops making clown show strategy calls, Ferrari is the only team with the pure pace to actually challenge the Mercedes boys this year. Max Verstappen's recovery drive can't hide Red Bull's massive problems. Max driving from 20th to 6th is a nice headline, but there is precious little for the Red Bull team to celebrate coming out of this weekend. Rookie Isaac Hadjar suffered a failure that had been foreshadowed by a temperature issue and then a terrible sound from the engine. The panic button is definitely being smashed in Milton Keynes. Verstappen himself admitted their pace is lacking half car, half engine, noting it can be overcome but acknowledging the deficit. That jaw-dropping miracle start they threatened in testing simply has not come true here. The 18-year-old rookie just put the entire midfield on notice. Arvid Lindblad went a bit under the radar in preseason due to so much being new in 2026, but he deserves great credit for looking like anything but an 18-year-old with just one patchy year of Formula 2. Fans are already hyping him up as the next big Red Bull prodigy. He completely embarrassed some of the veterans out there and looks right at home in F1, just as Hadjar did early last year. Williams promised a revolution but delivered a tractor. If you talk a lot about hitting the ground running at the start of a new rules era, you can't afford to start with a backwards limp. Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz had pointless midfield finishes. Carlos must be questioning his life choices watching his old team on the podium. In Albon's words, it's a lonely ninth best. They need less weight, more downforce, better aero, and better reliability. In the context of what they build this season as, it's catastrophic. Audi scores points in their very first race as a works team. Gabriel Bortoleto drove a feisty drive that ensured this goes down as a positive weekend for the debutant manufacturer. Audi just silenced every single critic who thought they would be dead last amidst their leadership changes. Bortoleto himself said that if someone told him they'd score points and be in Q3 in their first ever race, he would have asked if they were drunk. Even with Nico Hülkenberg parked up, Audi looks much better than many expected before testing. Is Liam Lawson's seat already in danger? It wasn't Lawson's fault that his car basically didn't move off the grid, forcing Franco Colapinto into incredible reactions to miss him. But the optics of finishing 13th when your new rookie teammate is in the points are not great great at all. Lawson had time to slam Sergio Perez over the radio, saying 2 years later he's not over it regarding their wheelbane. But honestly, based on past Red Bull precedents, being upstaged by a newcomer means he should be feeling anxious. Ollie Bearman is already destroying his veteran teammate. Bearman appears to have picked up where he left off in 2025, taking a midfield victory to kick off 2026. He was convincingly the quicker Haas driver, so much so that he's got teammate Esteban Ocon worried once again. Ocon is already crying to the media, claiming he had a lot of degradation and that they have two very different cars with two very different issues. Bearman is absolutely asserting total dominance and making Ocon sweat. And there you have it, Outlaws. The brutal reality of the 2026 grid. Mercedes is flying, McLaren is crying, and the midfield is an absolute war zone. Do you agree with this list? Drop your savage thoughts in the comments below, hit subscribe, and I'll see you at the apex.